Tonight we're gonna fly.
Hello. I'm Megan.
I'm Matt.
And you're watching The Night Owl.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we are. We're
Happy
back.
Friday,
right?
guys.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. Sorry that we went on a hiatus last week. It was July 4th, as you all know. I know not all of you guys celebrate July 4th. But yeah,
we had technical difficulties as we went out to the woods, and
we had no internet.
We had no internet.
But also it took, it gave us some time to reflect and kind of let us realize, you know what, we want to have some time with family, we want to have some time with each other and just eat a lot and chill. And it was nice. It was nice to see Matt's parents again. For me, I hadn't seen them in a long time. So we did what country people do. We worked on the fields, we went on ATVs, and we planted some vegetables, and we ate some pizza from the local pizza place, and we saw fireworks right from the house, which was great. We didn't have to worry about going to the fireworks.
No, did not have to go and be around anybody. We were able to see kind of the professional fireworks from slightly above and amongst the trees, and then kind of slightly off to one direction, some amateur fireworks.
That was a little weird for Matt because he was like, wait, that looks like it's less than a mile away.
Yeah, they were, I would say the effort was there, but compared to what was being done professionally, what we could see was very cool, right? I mean, there were a lot of, every other firework was like 3 different colors and weird designs.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It was very cool.
I mean, I wasn't complaining. And I think, the night wasn't very muggy. I know that here, when it was really hot, my friend that was watching our cat, Bean, he said it was pretty muggy the entire time, whereas Matt and I had really good breeze. It was beautiful out. It didn't feel crazy hot. And then what happened? We came home and the weather was crazy because of all the smoke, like that from the fireworks. It just kind of obscured like the air. So like you could not breathe at all.
It was muggy.
And, then he left for his trip for work. And I settled in and bonded with my cat and got some work done. I actually did a shoot the other day, finished up a music video. And now we're back. We're back to see you guys and we're excited. We're ready to kick it off for another week. And if you guys didn't notice, we're wearing our Metro Smartbar shirts. And
we've aligned.
Yeah. And if you guys are new, I'm Megan.
I'm Matt.
And this is The Night Owl Chicago, an all-inclusive podcast that talks about music, art, and life, and everything in between. Yeah, you got it, man. He just started adding that with me and him doing it together. So, he wants to feel included, you guys. He wants to feel
I want to feel.
Yeah, so if you guys are new, awesome. Thank you. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you.
If you're not new, welcome back. We love you guys. We're so happy that you've stuck with us for the past year. We are going into, I would say, like it's kind of our first season for our YouTube via, live videos, Friday Night Live. But it's like our 3rd season for actually doing the podcast overall, because we did start this last year right at the quarantine, about 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in. And we've kind of stopped. We kind of kept going, and now we've come full circle.
Yeah, right. It kind of morphed into it's seen kind of a variety of formats, but always I think out there just looking to see what's good and to better people. Whether it kind of started out as just a celebration of a place that we like to go to, a celebration of the kind of music that we get to witness here in Chicago. And like Megan says, we are now full circle. There is a reason we're wearing these shirts.
Yeah. They look cool too.
Besides from looking cool, this will be our first evening, will it not? Our first evening since the lockdown. We're gonna go to Smartbar. Yeah.
Hello.
It's Friday, so no, it is not a Queen. I know you're saying, wait a minute, did you start just because of Queen? Yeah, we started
because of Smartbar as a whole.
We love,
and just the fact that when I started being able to film there for my friends that played, including Derek Carter. I'm gonna name drop Derek Carter and Michael Serafini. I call him my mama bear. Obviously, he loved that when I mentioned that in our episode. We had an episode where we talked about the DJs that we love. And granted, Matthew and I have more than a handful of them that we love, but the ones that I talked about specifically were Garrett David, Great White Buffalo, Derek Carter, and Michael Serafini, who are the 3 DJs you see at Queen. Before, I don't know how long Garrett David was doing Queen with them. It might have been since the beginning, but I think he was the newer like add-on, because he was kind of following in Michael's kind of, he was apprenticing for him because he was working at Gramophone Records. So Garrett David for me is my dude. Like, he's my dude when I hear him at Queen. I love them all, but Garrett's my dude. Like, his music is it's very technical and artistic at the same time, and he just hits all those spots. Like, it's the transitions, and he just keeps you going. Michael has the, you know, he can do house, he can do techno, he can do tech house, he can do disco, lounge, and then Derek is mainly disco, mainly house, deep house. Sometimes I've heard him put some acid notes in there, but yeah, we did start it for Queen, but I think overall Smartbar. We talked about Hugo Ball and stuff.
We talked about Hugo Ball, so that's why it's really fun. The fact that we are indeed going tonight here. We have one of our favorite artist, I would say. I don't know if you would continue to call him a resident or former resident of a Smartbar, since he has really kind of branched out beyond just the
he started doing
DJ.
Raves when he was younger. That's what he was playing.
He goes way back
since the 90s.
So we're
and
very
honestly,
excited to go see DJ Justin Long here tonight.
We're seeing Carl Craig as well. I think
Craig as well.
Justin had a whole thing on Facebook about it, that he was being kind of summoned by Carl Craig to go and play with him. So just a little backstory on Justin, like, when we went to Hugo Ball, it was also another event themed night, and it would always be like everything was blacked out. There'd be some awesome, like, you know,
awesome installations,
but
right?
Everything
kind
was blacked out.
Themed.
Everything was blacked out.
Typically for Hugo Ball, that's what made it kind of unique, is usually those areas were blocked off.
And they still were after that. They
partly
still kind
because of the artist that they would attract.
Yeah,
kind of
they'll
the
have another
special artist
makeshift
that they would have. It was always kind of Justin plus another DJ.
They have more than one DJ sometimes they want to set up. But it was great to see him, because it was so dark. Sometimes it was industrial music. Sometimes it was, you know, techno. Sometimes it was drum and bass. Like, when he did drum and bass nights, that was always so much fun. They'd have it on Monday nights, which was great, because it was like, I don't know, for me, like when I was doing hair, sometimes I wouldn't work on a Sunday, so I could easily go to Monday night drum and bass. And, you know, it's just nice to be able to see Justin again. He, for us, I guess I can speak kind of for Matt, he can elaborate more, but he holds a special place in our heart. Like, we hold a special place in our heart for Justin, because he like really wants to be able to play and jam out for you, but he does it for himself. And you can see that when he plays. You can see his energy.
You can feel it. His energy back there when he's just going, and that's just
he's in the zone.
Thing, you know, that I've kind of fed on with other DJs, is I've really kind of always, for some, compared them off of that, is I want to see that. And I mean, it's just like, you can't help it. And it's just,
you kind of, I'm not saying that the other DJs aren't approachable, but just my personal experience with him, like I've hung out with him out of the club before, and he's the same person that he is when he's working and when he's not. And like that, what I call the zone is that special place between the realm you're in now and the spiritual realm. So it's like right in between, where like you're just in that zone, and like you almost like are not there, but you're totally there.
I would just say this. I mean, the energy that is presented during Queen is one thing. The energy that was always presented during Hugo Ball or when Justin presents is another. And I mean, I love,
they're contrasting, but they're great.
I love and adore both. Great. I'm very excited.
Yeah, so we're not wearing these to the club, but we just wanted to wear them. And
you
can wear yours, but I'm gonna sweat, honey. I'm wearing something cute. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
You should probably wear yours just to show homage. But these are actually unlimited shirts. They were Smartbar Metro shirts, and I know that they had a Queen recently, Full House, right? The entire Metro and Smartbar building, which to me, I mean, we've only been to the Full House ones when they do the 24-hour which I don't know if they're doing that this year because it usually is like in the summertime, right? Or is it in winter?
No, they always do the 24-hour right around the hour change, right? The
23-hour
party
they do it.
people.
Yeah, and then they did they did the Frankie Knuckles one. Sometimes they do all house, but or the entire building. But I don't know, unless it's like, I think with Freak Easy sometimes they do, but that's not, obviously that's a different entity within itself. They don't really do Freak Easies there all the time. And like I said, I've not been noticing by month them scheduling. I've only still been noticing by week that Smartbar's been scheduling.
Well,
people,
initially, right, I think we'll see, right? They were on course to open with Lollapalooza to kind of do those shows in and around afters in and around those shows. And then once kind of it became known June 11th, right? Was gonna be everything open and every other bar was open. It was like, why are we not making money? Yeah. So here they've kind of thrown some things together and so we get to kind of enjoy this long before they had intended to open. So it's great.
They're supposed to be in July. So
we'll see if they have kind of bigger events and what entails, because you're right. Things like a Freak Easy usually is in October.
They're having a Freak Easy.
And
I think
the Frankie Knuckles is usually a tribute there in January or February. We're usually right around his birthday.
I think they are doing a Freak Easy there after North Coast, like in August. I think one of my friends actually gave me a lineup of that. So it might be in August that they're gonna do a Freak Easy, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I would go to the website if you guys are interested in going to Smartbar. Definitely click the link. But I would go to their site. I got our tickets a week ago, and they're sold out. So
yeah,
I think they're doing it week by week.
Your thoughts are, I think I can just kind of show up.
Then pay $25
without a ticket. I don't know yet. We're gonna find out, but I don't think
see how
that's
long
possible.
That line is.
I'm thinking for a while here, you are going to have to get those tickets ahead of time if you want to guarantee entry.
And we did check to make sure that you don't have to be there at 10. I wanted to make sure, we wanted to kind of go at midnight. So there's no requirement for you to you have to be here at 10, but you should have your photo of your COVID
that is what
card.
They're saying, right? You got to be able to have proof of vaccination.
And if you don't have it, you'd have to wear your mask the entire time, unless you're in the bathroom.
You're
or maybe
still more
drinking.
than welcome to wear your mask, even if you are vaccinated or otherwise. So
yeah, it's okay to be safe. There's variants out there. I had a friend who had a cold last week, and she got tested for COVID. She didn't have it, but sometimes you got to make sure.
Sorry, yeah.
And then maybe next week we'll talk more about our experience, because I'm super pumped. I'm so excited to go.
I didn't think something too special here, but I think it was a couple weeks ago, maybe even now about a month ago, right, that I saw a story where it was reported that the city of Chicago would like to change the name of Lakeshore Drive. And for those of you who do not know or been to Chicago, this is the road here that runs up right along Lake Michigan between the city and the lake, known as Lakeshore Drive. And it runs probably a good 13-20 miles or so. And the report was, the plan at that time is to change the name from Lakeshore Drive to Jean-Baptiste Dusabol. And again, we had reported on him, right? He is considered the founding father, or the first non-native person to have settled in this area, and he is attributed to have started the city of Chicago. So the plan is to rename that, and it's already happened. Apparently, we were behind the times, so I'm traveling, and I see on my little GPS, and I see right there, it says, get on Jean-Baptiste Dusabol Drive.
I don't think we're behind. We talked about it before.
Well, we knew it was going to happen, but I thought there was a delay, but there is no longer. They have changed the name.
Yeah. And you know what? That's not the only thing that we've talked about that is now trending. There are a lot of the T.I. and Tiny thing. There's a lot of stuff that we talked about, especially you, Matthew, that now is becoming new. So give yourself some credit.
Was really cool, and I'm glad that
it's finally happening. They're actually doing it.
Things I get it here, and I understand. I can hear, some people, it's just the name of a street. Look at everything in Chicago, and they can't do anything right. What's going on? It's something, right?
You know what?
It's a recognition. You know,
they
when
did
it
the
starts-
Austin harvest. I mean, they're making strides, man.
You can't.
And you can't give Lori Lightfoot any credit. She hasn't done the Austin harvest. You know, a lot of these things are by us, by the people that live here. And I mean, city council obviously made the LSD thing happen. I'm sure that went through city council or whatever.
Well, that's what it had to, and I'm glad that they finally made that.
They announced
happen,
it
so.
within month. They didn't even announce it that long ago.
Representation matters.
Yeah.
I think tearing down of Confederate statues is good, representing kind of history and understanding that true history and understanding all in its form there. So that's what I initially had just to start out with, because that was something that I was excited. I called you, and
what they should do now is actually put a Black Lives Matter memorial, an actual wall or something like that, because there's a lot of those little altars and like little memorial areas that the residents have done. There's one up here, there's one in Pilsen, there's one in Wicker Park. They're just, they're usually under like overpasses or bridges or whatever. I think we need to do something like that, because that is the next step in being more progressive. I know that some neighborhoods have and on the sidewalks or like on murals. And I just think it'd be cool to have like a legit memorial so people can actually go and look at the names in stone or in this beautiful like memorial that shows respect for people, especially people here that have died from the hands of police and maybe from each other, black on black violence, stuff like that. Yeah.
Kind of one reason why I say there's always that pushback is because somebody like a city of Chicago, that means you have to acknowledge your mistakes.
Yeah, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
I mean,
that's what
you may
we're
be
saying.
forgiven a lot quicker than
that's okay.
Yeah. And even if you aren't, like, you just have to be okay with that.
You
it's
have to acknowledge
change.
those mistakes, and they are mistakes, and we want to get better. And you're right.
And it's not just the police, it's also gangs, it's also gang violence. Like, people that have died from stray bullets or people that have died from violence just in general within that Black community or brown community. Like, we need to address that and make sure that people can go up there and say, hey, there's a picture of this person, we love them. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not as important if we have the makeshift ones, the ones that people do themselves, because they're beautiful. People will bring like all kinds of gifts and flowers, but it'd be really cool, dude. Like, I don't know. And maybe even if they had it in a museum, it would be even cooler. Like, I don't know, just something, food for thought. I just thought about it now because there's a lot of other states that actually have that. And I remember when I watched a show with Matthew where I think it was this character she was Black and she lived in California, and she went to an art gallery where they had installations of Black people who passed away, or it was like this whole thing, and they did a prayer and they said their names. And I mean, it'd be kind of cool to do an interactive thing like that too here, because we have all these artistic pop-ups everywhere. It'd be kind of cool to have that be and meaningful, and it would have a lot of power behind it if it was about that kind of topic. Because again, people should feel uncomfortable when they talk about things or when they learn new things, because that's how you grow.
That is how you grow, and that is how you learn when you are uncomfortable.
Speaking of uncomfortable, our next topic, you guys, we put in the title for this video, hashtag Free Britney.
Hey, baby, one more time? No.
Yeah, I think it's one last time for her.
Time.
So,
boom.
Matthew, just say your thoughts on it, and I'll pull up my article, and then that way we can kind of go.
Well, I told you before we came on here what I had briefly seen. I think you and I both probably share similar views. Especially kind of our thoughts on maybe how her family has indeed handled this, that they are indeed maybe I don't know how far you want to go. I mean, some people are pretty harsh, but I would say they are a reason why, she is at this state, why she would like this conservatorship to end. She is, she's a grown ass woman here. Come on.
Yeah, dude.
She can make her decisions here. But it just goes to show you that what money does, right? Especially to families and what it can do. It'd be interesting. Maybe it's not interesting, right? What if they had never had any money? What if they had never had any money? What if her mom and dad was just making $30,000 a year, living in the southern part of Louisiana, and they were just that family?
Oh God, I don't know. She probably never leave there.
Yeah. But as is, I mean, she is a multimillionaire once, twice, 60 million times over. And as what has been pointed out, her earning power is, and probably has been, a little bit hindered by her own family. When you look at her and compare her to other pop stars, she doesn't make nearly as
not as much as Shakira or
Well, no, but I was kind of surprised. So when we were home, right? So we were watching, right? I think it was NBC Today. They popped the statistic.
Statistics?
No,
you can't say that word. Statistics.
First artist, I think, was Rihanna. I think maybe the second artist was like Beyonce. Now, mind you, they're making well over 200 million a year. I think maybe then they mentioned Jennifer Lopez, who's making a pretty good amount. And then they mentioned
is this just based on money, or is this based on like exposure?
This is how much current money that they make.
That's not fair because she hasn't been able to.
That's why I'm trying to explain this.
Okay.
So then they mentioned what's her face, the other blonde. Buffalo chicken.
Oh, Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson.
She's in that list.
$110 million a year.
Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson.
For what?
That's what she's worth. That's what she makes annually.
For what? What has she been doing lately?
Britney Spears, $60 million a year.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
Mind you, right? She's had a residency in Las Vegas.
Well, that's what people would argue, though, is that she's still rich, but it's like she doesn't have her freedom.
And that's what I'm saying here.
What's
I mean, what are we? I mean, exactly here. I mean, mind
it's one thing if you're rich, but like if you can't spend any of that money, what the fuck's the point?
But power that her family has had over her, that I truly believe that, she's finally breaking her silence and really does need to break her silence and probably break free.
And by the way, I'm pulling the race card here. Never once has she tried to use white privilege on anybody, whereas Jessica Simpson has, and so is her sister in many situations where it's just very cringe. But Britney Spears has, when she was sexualized, disclaimer, she was sexualized since she was young, which who knows what was happening before she became a star. Hit Me Baby One More Time was not supposed to be about getting spanked or getting rough sex or anything. It was supposed to be about hit me baby, let's go, let's play this music, all of her songs have been about the music. I'm a Slave for You, been about the music. I think of that song Lucky.
But when you dress it up in the package
that was Society, that was her record label that did that. Then she wrote the songs herself. She had her vision, and they were like, that's not gonna sell. I wonder what she really behind the scenes, what she wanted when she came to the producers and said, hey, I have this song, this is my vision, I want to dress up like this, I want to do that. And they were like, no, girl, no, you have to be sexy, the pedophiles have to love you, they will pay money to buy your shit. No, that's not what we're doing. You were in the world of boy bands, and you know what I mean? It was a different time. And she just had to kind of go into that, and her family didn't support her. They were like, no, you have to do what they say, and you have to make us money.
At the time, I don't know how much that was known, and maybe some people did look at that like, boy, her family really isn't. But now it does appear.
I always saw her dad as her parents. I mean,
it looks like mom, dad, and sister have all just been leeches.
I don't know about you, but I've always seen them being shitty. I just thought it was cringe because I liked her before when she came out, and then I was like, her parents are strange.
With so many of that type of, whether it was a child actor or a child singer.
Yeah.
And
Christina Aguilera was a child singer, but her mom was supportive.
It just seems like there are so few artists that is what they want to do.
Yeah, like
Don't
Beyonce.
Get me wrong.
Beyonce wanted to do it.
There are artists out there and people that is what they chose.
Yeah, of course. There's nothing wrong with that.
Beyonce, right? You mentioned somebody like Jewel. I'm thinking the Fannings come to mind.
And they're all fine. They all grew up fine.
They wanted to do that.
And regardless, yes, I'm not going to minimize Beyonce because I know Beyonce did have, her dad was very strict. I know that, but she wanted it so bad, and I think she always wanted to go solo, but they had to sell records as a group. That was just the time. At that time, everything was about threes or so. You didn't go solo back then.
Money, whether that is what they were looking for or whether that has changed them.
They grew up. She grew up in basically a lower middle class neighborhood. I mean, her parents wanted to make money from her. And she was okay singing. She was okay. She wasn't terrible, but they probably did help her.
I mean, that's life-changing money right there. I mean, millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah. And let me talk about, so let me finish my other thought. They sexualized her so much that she obviously morphed into that person. But as the years went on, when she got older and I got older and I saw her change, I don't think she really influenced me that much, but every time I would play her music, I would be blasting it really loud. I love the way that her energy, obviously the video where she had the fucking boa on her neck, like the boa constrictor, or like the famous music video where she had the bodysuit made of diamonds, or like Swarovski, like they had to make it perfect on her, and like just all these things. And then her dating life suffered. Dating that paparazzi, that was like the nail in the coffin, because she was going through so much. And I thought she went crazy because of him, but it was probably from other behind the scenes stuff that we didn't know about.
A combination of probably 100 different things all at once.
I'm glad that she's out there speaking her truth and finally getting, her foot in the door and saying, this is not right. I've been quiet for too long. I mean, even her sister has put out a video after Britney actually went to the judge and talked about, her abuse. Jamie Lynn went on Instagram or whatever and put out a video and said that she always supported her. She's so happy that she's, speaking her truth and she's doing this, and she always loved her. And she gave these really weird metaphors for like how much she loves her sister, and like just saying that her sister could do the craziest shit and she'd still love her. And I'm like, well, where were you when she had a breakdown? Why do we know now that you were mooching off of her, having her pay for you to go on trips, giving you an allowance? Like, you were supposed to have Zoe 101 come back and you ditched everybody on the show. Like, it did never come back because you were just trying to distract us from your sister's pain. Like, it's fucked up, And Britney wouldn't say that she wouldn't say something that's not true. So if she says her whole family betrayed her, Jamie, you're in there too.
It does appear at this time that could be the case.
Yeah, she's not as good as you guys think she is. I personally like Zoe 101, but I think you just have to look at it at face value. And I think I'm probably going to keep, doing my research on it.
Still battling to end the
she's still trying to get
her own court-appointed lawyer.
She wants to get her kids back.
People that are still trying to make themselves court-appointed positions. I believe there's some doctor out there that is trying to go to the judge that says, I want to be your doctor and be over her again. No, she doesn't need.
I mean, she fired her manager. Her manager was going on her Instagram and posting for her.
Yeah,
posting it, making it look like she was like okay.
She's probably pretty tired of having court-appointed people tell her what to do. Court-appointed people in general, and she definitely is probably looking for finally having maybe somebody who would help her and look over her in her best interest. Which I don't know if she has had that for quite some time. Perhaps maybe she's never had that. So.
I mean, just 2 days ago, Britney posted. Britney's the queen of doing Instagram stories, by the way. Just a few days ago, she actually posted on her stories this meme that had a girl, like a vintage pinup, and she was like this, and her like pants were down, kind of. And it was like, while you're talking behind my back, you might as well bend down and kiss my ass. And I was like, oh, Britney. And she was like and she was mad about like how the paparazzi was like making her body look weird and like changing how her body looks and stuff. So she had this video of her like walking on the beach. She's like, this is how I look. This is my body. And she's not going to leave anyone out. Like, she's just going to like blaze everybody down. She's got the flamethrower out,
Yeah, we're trapped and breaking free.
Yeah, I mean, it's been too long, and I'm really glad that she's speaking out. And also a tidbit, like Kevin Federline, they've always had a good relationship, even after they broke up. He's been the guardian of her kids, and I think that he wants her to be happy and healthy, and he said he can't wait for her to rejoin them because she wants to like be with her boyfriend and like, you know what I mean? She wants to have her life back. So I think she deserves it. Yeah. See? All right, guys, we're going to cut it short for tonight. If you guys want to email us at thenightowlchicag@gmail.com, or you can message us on Facebook. It's TNO Chicago on Facebook, or the Night Owl Chicago. We want to tell you guys we love you. We hope you have a good Friday and a happy summer. And we'll see you next week.
Next week.
I'm Megan.
I'm Matt.
And you're watching The
Night
Night
Owl.
Owl.